Just property management, just what you need. Just property management, just what you need.
Hi and welcome to today's training on the position of leasing clerk. You are responsible for arranging and conducting viewings of properties that are available for rent, assisting prospective tenants to complete the applications and carrying out the necessary checks for applications prior to passing them on to appropriate property managers for presentation to the owner. Your role has a large impact to the bottom line of the business. On most occasions, you're the first person who prospective tenants meet and the first introduction to just property management. It's this first impression that will set the tone for what the future tenants can expect. A professional image will complement your on-time appointment. Rest assured, they are assessing you as much as you are assessing them. Even having your file orderly, your information succinct, and your car clean. Think of that image as opposed to someone flying up in their grubby-looking car, late, jumping out all flustered with hair going everywhere, dropping a bundle of keys as you head to the front door, then fumbling through the keys only to find you've left them in the car, or better still at the office. Standing behind you is an entourage of people lined up ready to view the property, all thinking, wow, is this the display of things to come? I've heard of prospective owners coming to open homes or viewings just to see how individual companies are organised or the way they promote properties. Let this always be a reminder. Don't be like 90% of your opposition, rushed and chaotic. It all comes down to the preparation. When organising viewings, give the current tenant at least 7 days' notice prior to a scheduled viewing time. This allows them to have the property looking presentable. Send them your viewing expectations, i.e. having gardens weed-free, lawns mowed, house clean and tidy, curtains open to allow lots of natural light. Tenants like their home to look neat as well, even though it's a rental property. When advertising the property, make sure you put the full address on the internet or in the paper. So many agents don't do that because they think it's a security issue. But should someone call up the receptionist, full details are given out, no questions asked. If you want to maximise the rent for the owner, advertise the viewing date and time. This will ensure that you have a few potential tenants come to the viewing. It gives them a few days' notice to organise their time schedule and come prepared. Having more than one person at a viewing creates a scenario of demand. When handing out applications, let the tenants know that you'll be presenting all offers to the owner by the close of business in 2 days. Having multiple applications is the perfect situation for the owner to be in. It is just property management's duty to get the maximum rent and most suitable tenant for an owner. When you have processed an application and have found the prospective tenants to be suitable, call the tenants back and explain that you have multiple good applications. Tell them this: we are offering you the opportunity to see if you're prepared to pay more in rent. I'd say something like this: hello Mr. Johnston, it's Reece Stanley calling from Just Property Management. I've processed the application that you submitted for 29 Ennis Street, and by all accounts you'd make a great tenant in this property. I do, however, have multiple applications, and I'm calling you out of courtesy to see if you're prepared to pay more in rent. If you are, I'll take that to the owner. I can't guarantee you'll get it, but I can put that to them. When showing the property, make sure you're safety conscious. Always make sure your office knows where you'll be and at what times. Never be alone with someone in the house. When showing a property, always go in first, open any blinds, turn on all the lights to give the home the best possible bright light feel. If there are people waiting there before you arrive, just explain that you're going to open the house up, and if they could wait outside for 2 seconds. Once opened, stand at the front and welcome everybody in. If you're there on your own and the other person is of the opposite sex, go in first and open the home up, then come outside the front door and invite them to go in and have a look. Whilst people are at your home open, be alert and attentive. Take note of their appearance and how they personally groom themselves and whether their vehicle is clean. These are practical outward signs of how people will care in general for their rental that they're applying for. Without being Inspector Hector, the world's greatest detector, engage in conversation with them. Find out where they currently work and how long they've been doing that for. Why do they want to move? Once everyone has left the home, go in and lock up the property. If there is only one person of the opposite sex at the appointment, always wait outside for them to view the property. Once they have finished viewing, allow them to come outside and speak to you. Answer their questions and advise them you need to lock up. Then wish them a good day. Go inside and lock the front door so you can walk around inside without jeopardising your safety and returning the property as you found it. If there are any promising tenants, ensure you enter their details on the prospective tenants database and add them to your end-of-month email newsletter. When showing the property, be helpful with relevant information. Know where the closest shops, doctor's surgery are, and where school boundaries are. Know the relevant details such as whether the owner would consider pets, and if so, what sort. Know any restrictions, limitations or special features of the property. Whether lawn mowing or water consumption is included in the rent. If the property doesn't suit the prospective purchaser, try to find them another residence that could suit their needs. If you've done all of this, you would have not only portrayed yourself in a good light, but also established an exemplary perception of the company. Any tenant that enters into a lease agreement would have a feeling that they're dealing with an organised company, one that will be swift to act should there be maintenance items, or firm and steadfast should they fall late in rent payment. A no-nonsense approach would be portrayed. Selecting the right tenant for the property is so very vital. It's not about just getting someone into a property because it's vacant. Do a thorough tenant credit qualification check. It will resolve most issues up front. Double checking the information they complete on the application form is vital. Almost all tenants which apply do so with integrity and honesty, and your double checking is just a confirmation of their details. In almost all occasions, when you have trouble with a non-payment or a breach on the contract occurs, signs would have been detected should a thorough application process have been undertaken. Areas that should be alarming when processing an application are that they've been living with a friend with no written agreement or rent receipts that can be used as evidence. The address they have down as their last place of residence finished up well before their current application. They have been renting off a friend. Check the name of their friend and the said address from RP data to verify ownership details. Never accept someone that doesn't have physical evidence of rent payments, i.e. rent receipts or bank statements showing regular amounts going out in rent. When checking a bank statement, look to see that the rent has come out in an orderly fashion, weekly, fortnightly intervals. This will show how reliable they are with rent. Someone that's had a lot of rental properties over a short period of time is a concern. Moving house is a costly exercise, and for those who have moved, what's their explanation? Those prospective tenants who come to an open house or to the front desk that say they need a place by the weekend and have the cash and will take any property, even one that's well overpriced, beware. All I can say is stop. It may sound harsh, but don't be sympathetic to their story. Show empathy and professionalism by having them complete a tenancy application form and follow your normal application processing procedures. Any information that is left blank on the application is always a concern. Remember, personal references on an application form are not there to give a character reference on the prospective tenant. Every time you call a personal reference, they'll always say, they're the best tenants, their house is always so clean, they are the best gardeners, their dog is old, it sleeps all day, it never barks or digs holes or comes inside, never. Always remember that you stick by the policies and procedures of just property management. This ensures that the risk of someone slipping through the web of checks is unlikely. Never ever take shortcuts on the pre-tenant qualification checks. Those that you do favours for always come back to haunt you later. If ever pressured by people, particularly those that you may know, always use the standard line. It's company policy. That's the way we do it here. Having a well-qualified tenant establishes a foundation that will ensure the property is respected and maintained, and the owner receives the rent on time. There is no substitute for double checking and thoroughly processing a tenant's application form. Effort in this area reduces heartache and problems later. This makes for happy tenants, happy owners, and your job at Just Property Management a bit less stressful.
Just Property Management, just what you need.